Kick Accounting and your accounting sidekick. And I am here today to talk to you about number 5 in our series of out of the box accounting. And so, just to kind of reiterate what out of the box accounting is, it's basically helping the accounting become more tangible for you. So that's what we're talking about, different things that affect accounting that you maybe don't consider to be accounting affecting, but hopefully this will help to make it understandable as to why your accounting and your numbers are so important. So thank you for joining me. Today we are talking about more money, more problems. So um just so you know, that was really weird to say for me. But anyways, no, I'm just kidding. It's true, right? We typically don't think of making money creating accounting problems, but the truth is that when you increase your accounting activities, and generally the reason why it's being increased is because your business is making more money, right? A lot of times people start out businesses and they use a spreadsheet, and then after a while, after their business kind of starts growing and they have more moving pieces, they start to consider using something else, right? Using some kind of accounting software. So we primarily use QuickBooks Online for our clients, and we do QuickBooks consulting with a lot of other clients as well to help them learn and utilize the software. And it's a really good software because it integrates with a lot of things. It has a mobile app that you can do things like track mileage and receipts and send out invoices and that kind of thing. So it's very versatile. They are kind of the monopoly on the accounting area, but there are some other accounting tools that are really good out there as well. So Wave Apps is one that I would say is a really great starter um, application as well. It's a free app, so you can do your accounting for free on there. What they're charged for is if you do invoicing out of there, then they have a fee for that. But it's a great place to start that is not a spreadsheet that can help you kind of quantify where everything is and be able to run the relevant reports that you would still need to be a good business owner. But once you kind of get to a point where you have a lot of moving pieces, then possibly considering a different software might be helpful with that. And I'm happy to talk to you about that. That is not what we were talking about today. That was a tangent. Sorry about that. But it's important to talk about tracking. So, excuse me. So when you have additional revenue and you have these moving pieces that start moving, it actually does affect your accounting. And so some of the areas that get affected are things like staffing, taxes, management, capacity. Those are all accounting related problems. Now you might be thinking, how are those accounting related problems? Well, let's break that down a little bit really quick. So when we talk about staffing, I think staffing is probably the more obvious one, right? Because it's going to affect your accounting because you're going to have to pay them. So it's going to automatically hit your books, right? It's going to hit your numbers. You're going to have that expense. You're going to have taxes to consider as well. And so a good rule of thumb when it comes to that is when you start thinking about hiring, a lot of times people forget about the taxes. They forget about the unemployment insurance that goes along with it and the workers' comp insurance that goes along with the cost of hiring an employee. And that's just the base, right? So I usually tell people that when you're considering hiring a person, that you want to expect to pay at least 10 to probably 15-ish%, excuse me, for that employee. So if I'm going to be paying them $10 an hour, expect to pay at least 11, maybe $12 an hour for, or 11.50, whatever, amount above that salary or that hourly amount for your employees. So work that into your budget or your plan, is that you're going to have additional costs above that hourly rate or salary rate of what you're going to be paying your employees. So something to plan for on that. So that's pretty obvious, right? It's going to directly hit your books. But how about management? Then we'll go to taxes. Management is something that has to also be considered because as you start adding to your team and adding revenue, then there are going to be other things you have to manage. Maybe you have to manage the project. Maybe you have to manage more supplies or inventory or people. So all of those kind of things are things to consider because it's going to impact your numbers as well. So you want to start making sure that you're taking a look at your numbers and considering those things as you create more money in your business. Because with more money comes more problems that you have to kind of think about. And this is something that I have been doing myself as we grow Sidekick, because I got to add more people, right? So I got to start thinking about, how to manage them and what I need to do to make sure we have culture development, and, then thinking about our clients and how we can have, good relationships with them and what that needs to look like. And, then what needs to follow that as well is like, okay, so then we have, staffing, in HR, and all of these different things that I got to start thinking about as the CEO of the business, because I got to make sure that not just my team gets managed, but our clients get managed and our culture gets managed, and the manager gets managed and all these different things that really end up quantifying to money value. Because if I have to set up meetings, or send out gifts, thank you gifts, or if I have to hire a manager or promote a manager, like all of those things are money related impacting things that are going to affect my accounting. So in even management, as you grow, you got to start managing different things and more things, and how that quantifies to your accounting is really important. So kind of going back to our episode yesterday, or the number 4 episode on Wednesday, we were talking about how dreaming leads to success because we can quantify it with a plan. And that's similar to this as well. As we kind of grow and we have more money, then we got to start doing more things, which, can be considered a problem, but maybe not a bad problem. It can be a good problem, right? So that's what I'm talking about today. So then the other thing that it affects is our taxes. As we make more money, the government wants more money, right? So, but there are a lot of different things that you can do to mitigate that. So, as I mentioned in the past, we do tax planning services as well for our clients. And we're really, really excited about the service because we get to help businesses, like regular people businesses, right? Save a lot of money in taxes. And maybe not necessarily all in the liability, but they get to keep more money in their pocket through various strategies. And so if you're interested in learning more about that, please drop a comment, and I will follow up with you to set up a time. We do free tax planning consults where we can talk about whether or not it's a great fit for you, or if it's the right time, and then we can kind of dig into what an estimate would be, and then really do the whole process of tax planning. So it's a really awesome, exciting service that we're offering, because we want to help businesses keep more of their money and be successful. But that is something to consider, is how it's going to affect your taxes, which are actually, ultimately going to affect your accounting as well. And then finally, we are talking about capacity. So capacity, when I think of capacity and how it relates to your accounting, is starting to break those numbers down as far as like, okay, if I have X amount of clients, that means I'm going to have X amount of staff people. That means I'm going to have X amount of hours allotted to those staff people, and then I'm going to be able to manage it. So kind of going back to that management piece of it as well, is once you start adding staff, you have to figure out what your capacity is and which each person's capacity is for whatever it is that they're doing. Because the fact is that if I have a retail location, my employee is only going to be able to work the register for a certain amount of hours. And so then it comes down to, okay, well, how many products do we need to try and sell within that period of time? Or if my employees, for example, our bookkeepers, have a certain amount of clients that they should be able to manage throughout the month. And so once we start reaching a certain number, then we have to start thinking about, do we need to hire another bookkeeper? Or do we need to reevaluate our clients and where they are, and see where maybe there's some holes or some gaps or some inefficiencies that we can improve on to make that capacity greater? So that goes back to your numbers and your accounting, because all of those things go together. And so hopefully this is helping you kind of get an understanding of how your accounting relates back to many different parts of your business, and how being able to start quantifying those things can really help you be a better business owner, which is ultimately what we want, right? Because the good businesses that are ran efficiently and profitably are the businesses that continue to grow and operate and provide for people, right? Because we have people we provide for, even if it's contractors. We have all this responsibility for our clients or our employees or our customers, that we want to make sure we're showing up the best way for them. And so being able to understand your accounting and how it relates to many different pieces of your business is one of those ways to become a better business owner. So how to prepare for it? When you are getting to the point where you're planning to make more money, these are the things that you can start thinking about before it happens, right? So, starting to think about how you need to manage, what systems do you need to have in place? How are you going to plan for your taxes? Having an idea of how your income affects your taxes is a big piece of that. And then, thinking about what your capacity looks like and how that's going to affect it. And then what kind of staffing you're going to need in order to be able to support that revenue goal. And it could be that you have higher ticket items, which allows for you to have a greater income capacity. But at what point do you want that to get to? And maybe you don't want to continue to do one-on-one coaching. Maybe you want to make it into a group thing. What does that capacity look like there? So there's so many different ways to consider how all of these different items affect your business. But that's the thing, is that as a business owner, you got to work on your business, and working on it is starting to kind of figure out these pieces along the way. So my challenge for you is to start thinking about these things. Think about how making more money is going to affect your business, and think about what potential problems there could come from that, and be prepared early. When it comes to payroll, one of the biggest things that people fail at with payroll is their taxes, payroll taxes, making sure it's set up properly from the get-go, making sure that you're not switching back and forth between payroll softwares is another big thing, because that can make it really difficult to navigate. So all of these different things make a big difference in terms of, your payroll and how to fix that. So that is one problem to consider, but there's many others. If you sit down and take the time, even if it's just 30 minutes. So I had my team take a workshop with Taryn Statler, who owns TikTok. It's about time. And she talks about time management. She does these really awesome workshops about time management. And so one of the things that she talks about is how we can get really distracted when we're doing different things. And so one way to really help keep us focused is to use a little timer. So Taryn, yay, timer. So so I got a timer that helps me a lot, because I said, I'm going to do 30 minutes of, checking my email. I'm going to do 30 minutes of, I usually do 30-minute blocks just because it's easier for me. And I focus on getting that 30 minutes done, and then I can move on to something else. But spend 30 minutes. So set a timer for even 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. And just think about these things for your business. That is my challenge to you. Think about how making more money is going to affect your business, and what things you need to start thinking about or preparing for in order to support that money and that business as it grows. And it's going to do one of two things. One, it's going to be really awesome. At least I think it always is. When you can start thinking about your business and all the different pieces that you need to have, it's an amazing feeling. It's very invigorating, but also very intimidating all at the same time. And like, you wouldn't think you can have two emotions at the same time that are completely opposite, but you totally can. And this is one of those instances when you do that. Two, it's going to help you to start making that plan. It's going to help you to start thinking about it and preparing for it, so that these problems don't have to be problems, bad problems in your business, right? We always are going to have good problems as we continue to grow and scale. But the thing is that preparation and planning is really what's going to help you overcome those challenges and make it from a bad problem into a good problem. And that's what we want. So, so do that challenge, set your timer for 15 to 30 minutes, and think about how it's going to impact your business if you start making more money. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful for you. Please join our free Facebook group and our 30-minute session of Find Your Money Master Plan, where you can walk away with a tangible action step after this 30 minutes with me. We'll talk about different things that you can do or think about as you are looking to grow and improve your business. So I'm really excited about being able to offer that now. And taking it a step further, if you need help with your books or your accounting or your taxes, please check out our website. I'm more than happy to talk and see if we'd be a good fit for you to help you grow your business, to organize, understand, and use your numbers to grow a profitable and successful business. So thanks for joining me today, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.